Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Pour yourself something strong because today we're diving into what might be the most stunning royal rejection I've seen in years. Meghan Markle has just been handed a humiliation so severe, so public, and so devastating that I genuinely don't see how her carefully crafted image recovers from this. The Invictus Games, Prince Harry's crowning achievement and Meghan's reliable PR platform, has officially shut its doors to her. That's right, folks. The Invictus CEO has drawn a firm line in the sand and told Meghan she is not welcome at the 2027 Games. Now, I know you guys are excited for more Hummer, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on, guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, let that sink in for a minute. The very organization founded by her husband has looked Meghan in the eye and said, "Thanks, but no thanks." And this wasn't some polite scheduling conflict or diplomatic excuse. This was a flat-out rejection. According to multiple sources, when Meghan demanded to attend the 2027 Games, the response was an unequivocal no. No negotiations, no compromise, no royal courtesy. Just a blunt refusal that has sent shockwaves through royal watchers worldwide. What makes this rejection particularly devastating is WHO was behind it. It wasn't just the CEO making an executive decision. Reports indicate that veterans themselves, the wounded, injured, and sick service members that Invictus was created to honor, voiced their opposition to Meghan's attendance. One veteran reportedly stated, "This is about us, not about her fashion parade." Ouch. When the very people you claim to champion are saying they don't want you around, that's a special kind of humiliation. For years, Meghan has used the Invictus Games as her safety net, the one event where she could guarantee positive press coverage while positioning herself as a compassionate humanitarian. Remember those carefully orchestrated appearances? The designer outfits strategically chosen for maximum camera impact? The dramatic PDA with Harry that somehow always happened when photographers were present? What was supposed to be about veterans reclaiming their strength through sport repeatedly became the Meghan show. And apparently, the veterans noticed. They watched as headlines shifted from their incredible stories of courage and resilience to speculation about Meghan's wardrobe, her body language, her hair, anything but the actual purpose of the Games. Year after year, the spotlight that should have illuminated these brave men and women instead focused squarely on the Duchess of Sussex. Until finally they'd had enough. The timing of this rejection couldn't be worse for Meghan. Her brand is already on shaky ground after a series of professional setbacks. Spotify labeled the Sussexes grifters and dropped their podcast. Netflix has scaled back deals and reportedly isn't renewing some of their projects. Her lifestyle brand launch has been met with mockery and criticism. And now, the one reliable platform she could count on, her husband's signature charitable endeavor, has publicly rejected her. Perhaps the most painful aspect of this humiliation is that Harry reportedly fought to have Meghan included, but even his influence wasn't enough. The CEO and Veterans Committee held firm. Think about what that means. Harry, the founder of Invictus, the man who poured his heart and soul into creating this organization, couldn't convince them to accept his wife. That's not just a rejection of Meghan. It's a devastating blow to Harry's standing within his own organization. When news of this decision broke, Meghan's PR team sprang into crisis mode. Within hours, strategic leaks began suggesting she had graciously stepped aside from the 2027 Games due to scheduling conflicts. Other spin attempts painted her absence as a mutual decision between the Sussexes and organizers. But insiders immediately debunked these claims, confirming that Meghan had indeed demanded to attend and was flatly denied. This desperate attempt at damage control only made things worse. As one journalist perfectly put it, she didn't decline, she was declined. The spin exposed Meghan as not just rejected, but dishonest, creating a double humiliation that sent social media into overdrive. Hashtags like #VeteransFirst, Invictus Not Meghan, and No More Meghan trended worldwide as the public overwhelmingly sided with the decision to exclude her. A UK poll showed that over 72% of respondents agreed Meghan's presence had overshadowed veterans in past years, and that banning her was the right move. That's not just a rejection from organization leadership, That's a public referendum on Meghan's sincerity as a humanitarian. And the verdict is brutally clear. What makes this situation so catastrophic for Meghan is the symbolism. Invictus isn't just another charity event. It's Harry's crown jewel, his proudest achievement outside the royal family. For his wife to be barred from attending isn't just a personal embarrassment, it's a public declaration that she is toxic even within Harry's legacy project. If Harry's own veterans don't want Meghan around, why should Netflix? Why should potential corporate partners? Why should Hollywood? Industry insiders are already whispering that this rejection is sending alarm bells throughout entertainment circles. Production executives don't like risk, and Meghan has now officially become a walking liability. As one source bluntly put it, if even Invictus doesn't want Meghan, no one else will. That's the kind of industry chatter that kills deals before they even reach the negotiation stage. The fallout from this rejection exposes the fundamental flaw in Meghan's public persona. For years, she's presented herself as a humanitarian, a champion of noble causes, a voice for the voiceless. But the Invictus ban reveals a different reality, that her presence was never truly about supporting veterans. It was about Meghan, her image, her camera moments, her narrative. And now, stripped of that stage, she faces a reckoning that no amount of PR spin can fix. This isn't just a rejection, it's a moment of truth. Meghan Markle has been told in the clearest possible terms that she is not needed, not respected, not wanted by the very communities she claimed to support. And for someone who built an empire on the illusion of relevance, that reality is devastating. Think about how far we've come from the early days of Harry and Meghan's relationship. Remember when they first appeared together at the Invictus Games in Toronto? She was the fresh-faced actress bringing a touch of Hollywood glamour to the royal family. He was the beloved prince dedicated to helping wounded warriors. They seemed perfect together, both committed to using their platform for good, both seemingly authentic in their desire to make a difference. Fast forward to today, and that narrative has completely unraveled. Meghan, once welcomed with open arms by the Invictus community, has now been explicitly told to stay away. Harry, once the unquestioned leader of his own organization, couldn't even secure his wife an invitation. It's a stunning reversal that speaks volumes about how drastically public perception has shifted. What went wrong? How did Meghan transform from welcomed supporter to unwanted distraction? The answer lies in her approach. Veterans and organizers watched as year after year, Meghan seemed to use the games as a backdrop for her own PR objectives. The carefully timed emotional moments, the designer wardrobe changes, the dramatic displays of affection with Harry, all of it felt increasingly choreographed, increasingly about her rather than about the athletes. One particularly telling moment came during the 2022 Games in The Hague, when Meghan was criticized for wearing over $300,000 worth of jewelry to an event honoring service members who had sacrificed limbs for their countries. The contrast was jarring. Wounded veterans in athletic gear competing alongside a woman dripping in diamonds and designer clothes. It wasn't just tone deaf. It was revelatory of a fundamental misunderstanding of what Invictus represents. The games were created to highlight resilience, sacrifice, and the indomitable human spirit, not to serve as a backdrop for royal fashion moments. And gradually, that disconnect became impossible to ignore. Veterans began questioning whether Meghan's presence was helping or hurting their cause. Organizers noticed how media coverage shifted whenever she appeared. And eventually, they reached the same conclusion. Invictus would be better served without her. For Harry, this rejection creates an impossible situation. His loyalty to Meghan has been absolute, even at the cost of his relationships with the royal family, childhood friends, and former military colleagues. He has defended her at every turn, sacrificed his former life for their shared future, and positioned himself as her unwavering protector. But now, his own signature achievement, the project closest to his heart, has rejected his wife. How does he reconcile that? Sources close to Harry suggest he's devastated by the decision, but ultimately unable to override it. The optics are painful. The founder of Invictus, unable to secure his wife's inclusion in his own organization. It's a humiliation for him as well, a clear sign that his influence has diminished even within the spaces he created. The prince who once commanded universal respect now finds himself powerless to protect Meghan from public rejection. What's particularly fascinating about this situation is how it exposes the fundamental contradiction at the heart of the Sussex brand. They left royal life allegedly seeking privacy, authenticity, and freedom from public scrutiny. Yet at every turn, they've sought the spotlight, yea, carefully stage managing their public appearances and aggressively pursuing media coverage. The Invictus Games were supposed to be about wounded warriors reclaiming their strength, not about Meghan's outfits or Harry's PDA. Yet somehow, the focus always shifted to the latter. That dissonance between stated intentions and observable behavior has gradually eroded public goodwill. People can sense inauthenticity, and the constant contradiction between the Sussexes' words and actions has damaged their credibility. The Invictus rejection isn't happening in isolation. It's the culmination of years of mounting skepticism about Meghan's sincerity as a humanitarian figure. The road ahead looks incredibly challenging for both Harry and Meghan. He must now navigate his continued involvement with Invictus, knowing his wife has been explicitly excluded. She must rebuild a public image that has been dealt a devastating blow by the very community she claimed to champion. And together they must confront the uncomfortable reality that their brand, once built on compassion, service, and global respect, is increasingly defined by rejection, controversy, and public skepticism. The 2027 Invictus Games will proceed without Meghan Markle. Veterans will inspire the world with their courage and determination. Harry will likely be there, trying to maintain his connection to the organization he founded. But Meghan will be watching from the sidelines, not by choice, but by decree. And that image of the woman who once commanded the spotlight, now explicitly excluded from it, may be the most fitting symbol of her fall from grace. This moment marks a turning point not just for Meghan, but for our understanding of celebrity humanitarian work. It reminds us that true service isn't about photo opportunities or designer outfits or carefully crafted PR moments. It's about consistently putting others first, about making the cause, not yourself, the center of attention. The veterans of Invictus have delivered that message in the clearest possible terms, and the world is listening. So what comes next? Can Meghan rebuild her image after such a public rejection? Can Harry maintain his leadership within Invictus while supporting a wife the organization has explicitly rejected? And most importantly, will this moment of accountability finally lead to the authenticity and humility that have been noticeably absent from the Sussex brand? The answers remain to be seen. But one thing is certain. Meghan Markle, once the star of every event she attended, has been told in no uncertain terms that her presence is not wanted. For a woman who built her post-royal identity on being needed, respected, and admired, that rejection cuts deeper than any tabloid headline ever could. This isn't just another negative news cycle. It's the collapse of a carefully constructed narrative, years in the making. What do you think about the Invictus CEO's decision to ban Meghan from the 2027 Games? Was this rejection long overdue, or does it seem unnecessarily harsh? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more royal insights. This story is still developing, and you know I'll be right here, keeping you updated on every twist and turn. Until next time, thanks for watching, ta-ta, and bye for now.